47-year-old Washtenaw County Sheriff's Lieutenant, who was off duty when he got pulled over. Deputy Morrison, after stopping Lieutenant Filipiak, informed him about the reason for the traffic stop. Subsequently, Deputy Morrison inquired if Lieutenant Filipiak had consumed any alcoholic beverages that afternoon. In response, Lieutenant Filipiak acknowledged that he had indeed consumed a couple drinks. After Deputy Morrison confirmed Lieutenant Filipiak's identity, he returned to his vehicle and instructed the lieutenant to exit the truck for a field sobriety test. The purpose of the test was to assess whether Lieutenant Filipiak had consumed an excessive amount of alcohol, despite it being evident he was clearly unfit to drive. Exhibiting evident signs of severe intoxication, such as slurred speech and watery eyes, Lieutenant Filipiak left no room for doubt that he was heavily under the influence.
Okay, you got your ID?
However, despite this clear indication, Lieutenant Filipiak adamantly refused to comply with Deputy Morrison's request to step out of the vehicle. Instead, he insisted that Deputy Morrison should either allow him to return home or let him sleep it off on the side of the road. In response, Deputy Morrison firmly informed Lieutenant Filipiak that his options were limited and made it clear that he would not allow him to be released in his current condition.
Multiple reckless driving calls about you. Okay. And then when I'm following you, you're hitting the shoulder of the road. You been drinking? How many? Okay. Where are you reaching in the back for? I seen you reaching in the back. You have an open container back there? Okay, you been drinking on the way here? You got your registration, proof of insurance? Do you have a firearm on you? Okay. Do you got your pistol? Are you a corrections officer or just deputy? Lieutenant? Okay.
Despite Deputy Morrison's persistent attempts to persuade Lieutenant Filipiak to exit the vehicle, the latter remained adamant in his repeated request to be released. He proceeded to assert that Deputy Morrison's job would not be jeopardized if he let the situation slide, emphasizing the potential consequences for himself if the matter were pursued.
Brian, I'm going to have you step out of the car when I do field sobriety test for you. Okay?
However, Deputy Morrison understood that ignoring the incident would not only lead to his termination, but also result in misdemeanor charges carrying a penalty of up to 1 year of imprisonment or a fine of $1,000. Deputy Morrison was fully aware of the extent of Lieutenant Filipiak's intoxication, as he had allegedly observed the lieutenant discarding open containers in the back seat during the traffic stop.
I'm going to ask you to step out of the vehicle. What would you like me to do?
Just let me go.
I can't. I had multiple phone calls. You'd be in the same situation if I was in the vehicle in your county, correct?
All right, just let me stay here. Okay?
You can't. I'm going to ask you nicely to step out of this vehicle. Brian, my hands are tied. If I let you go, I'm going to lose my career over you. You don't think I wouldn't? This is northern Michigan. We're a small department. Okay, I'm going to ask you nicely to step out of the vehicle. You know I have my job to do. You know that.
Yeah, I just want you.
And I understand your point, your position. Okay, I'm trying to be as cooperative and nice to you as I can.
Despite Deputy Morrison's continuous efforts in trying to have Lieutenant Filipiak step out of the vehicle,
After nearly 5 minutes of persistent requests for Lieutenant Filipiak to exit the vehicle,
Just let me go.
I can't let you go. We're way past that point. You know this. You're a lieutenant. You know how this works.
Yeah, I do.
You would tell one of your deputies if they called you right on the side of the road and they asked you what to do. So, if one of your deputies is in the position as I am right now, calling you as a lieutenant, Lieutenant, this is what I got. What should I do? You're just going to say let him go? Why? Just because. You're intoxicated. I know it. You have open alcohol in the vehicle, then you're stabbed in the back. I know it. You know it. You're a good guy. Ryan, out of this vehicle. I'm asking you nicely. I don't want to see anything worse happen. Okay?
Deputy Morrison, having reached the limits of his patience, opened the door and firmly instructed the lieutenant to step out, avoiding any need for further escalation. Deputy Morrison proceeded to inform Lieutenant Filipiak that he would be arrested for refusal to comply if he persisted in refusing to exit the vehicle. RNO, an abbreviation for resisting and obstructing a police officer, is a felony offense that carries a penalty of up to 2 years of imprisonment, a fine of $2,000, or both. After an additional 5 minutes had passed, Deputy Morrison cautioned Lieutenant Filipiak that he would be tased if he continued to resist compliance with his instructions. Consequently, Deputy Morrison retrieved his taser and aimed it at the lieutenant, while firmly warning him that failure to comply would result in being tased. Deputy Morrison even considered using the backup taser at that moment. In this situation, Deputy Morrison possessed the authority to employ his taser and would not have faced repercussions for doing so. Fortunately, the threat of being tased successfully persuaded Lieutenant Filipiak to finally exit the vehicle. As anticipated, Deputy Morrison did not tolerate Lieutenant Filipiak's resistance, instructed Lieutenant Filipiak to occupy the back seat of his patrol car, intending to transport him to the police station. Despite Deputy Morrison's clear directive to sit in the car, Lieutenant Filipiak persisted in his refusal, stating, "I am who you guys are. Do you guys realize that?" This remark strongly indicated that Lieutenant Filipiak was attempting to exploit his position of authority, seeking a preferential treatment based on his status.
Alright, we're done with this.
Hold on.
Talk to me. Yes or no? Are you doing field sobriety tests?
All right. So if this was the other situation,
Lieutenant Filipiak clearly held the belief that he was exempt from abiding by the law. However, the officers present at the scene were determined to make it evident that such was not the case. Following some further struggle, they managed to successfully place Lieutenant Filipiak inside the patrol car.
I'm not resisting, but let's stop.
You're tensed up.
Let's talk about it. Okay.
We've talked. I don't want to put you on the ground.
No,
I don't want to make
you
this worse.
All right, I will just sleep it off. Dude,
stop it right now. You know? Stop it.
Allowing for his transportation to the police station where he would face the consequences of his actions. Subsequent breath tests conducted at the police station revealed that Filipiak's blood alcohol level registered at 0.28 and 0.27%. For context, the legal limit for operating a motor vehicle in the United States is a mere 0.08%.
What happens? We're going to take you to the jail and ask for a data master. If you refuse that, we're going to get a search warrant for your blood. Brian, have a seat.
stop, guys. Hold on.
Therefore, Lieutenant Filipiak's blood alcohol concentration was over 3 times the legal limit, subjecting him to Michigan State's super drunk law, which carries penalties of up to 180 days in jail, fines of up to $700, and up to $300.
Hey, what the Hey! Go!
On February 12, 2023, Officer Kyle Howe of the Toledo Police Department detained and physically assaulted a couple without any apparent justification. Officer Howe spotted a speeding vehicle on the highway and pursued it with his emergency lights activated. After pulling over the driver, Mr. Romero, Officer Howe alleged that he was driving above the legal speed limit.
Good evening. What's the hurry tonight?
Nothing. I just picked up my girlfriend from work.
Okay. Do you know how fast you were going?
75 maybe.
Okay. I do at 77. You got your driver's license, insurance?
I do.
Despite Mr. Romero's compliance in providing his identification, Officer Howe also requested the passenger's ID, although it was not legally required.
Okay. Does she have an ID?
She does. She might
Can you
not.
use my
This is her license.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I
You
just
don't.
picked her up from work.
Yeah.
Officer Howe asked Mr. Romero to step out of the vehicle, and he complied. Officer Howe noticed something fall out of the vehicle as Mr. Romero stepped out, and he proceeded to handcuff him, claiming it was drug paraphernalia. Officer Howe informed Mr. Romero that he was being detained, not arrested, and asked him about his marijuana use.
What's that, partner?
I'm not sure what happened.
Okay. I'm gonna just have you turn around and put your hands behind your back for me, okay?
Oh, really?
Yeah. $45, 1 to 10. Alright. That comfortable for you or not?
The laws surrounding marijuana use in Ohio are complex, but possessing less than 100 grams is considered a minor misdemeanor. Officer Howe then requested Mr. Romero to undergo a field sobriety test, which he willingly agreed to. However, Officer Howe then arrested Mr. Romero for driving with a barred license, indicating that his license had been previously suspended. The situation escalated when Officer Howe aggressively grabbed Mr. Romero, slammed him onto the patrol vehicle's hood, and threw him to the ground despite no signs of resistance. And then another officer arrived and unlawfully arrested the passenger, Miss Jasmine. Dash cam footage captured Officer Howe's use of excessive force and false accusations against Mr. Romero. Despite Mr. Romero's retaliation against the unjust treatment, Officer Howe continued to assault him.
Stop! Pussy! Stop
Baby, please stop! Babe, please! Why are you pulling on me like that?
Miss Jasmine's arrest was also unjustified as she had not engaged in any wrongdoing. Both Mr. Romero and Miss Jasmine were ultimately arrested, but it is important to note that their violations of the law did not excuse the mistreatment they endured.
Pulling away from me and trying to kick me as a resistant.
Why the did you hit me and slam me on the ground that many times?
Following an investigation into another incident involving Officer Howe, he resigned from the Toledo Police Department. The incident highlights concerns about the excessive use of force and the violation of individuals' rights during law enforcement encounters. In another incident, a driver who had committed no wrongdoing and violated no laws was pulled over by an officer who falsely claimed that the vehicle's tag was expired. The officer's true intentions became evident when he asked a question unrelated to the traffic stop, implying potential phone use while driving. In this terrifying incident, a young woman named Taylor Brown was subjected to harassment and assault by over 6 police officers without any apparent reason. On February 9, 2023, 18-year-old college student Taylor Brown was at the Normal Police Department in Illinois for an interview regarding a fire that occurred at her residence earlier that day. Despite waiting for the detective for around 40 minutes, Brown expressed her fatigue and requested to leave.
Okay, and we're going to seize your phone.
Why?
Because the fire's under investigation.
I need to know what my...
So you can hand me the phone, or I can take the phone.
But I need to know what my phone's being... They're not telling me a reason why my phone's being...
I just did.
But you said it's under investigation, which I...
So listen to me. The fire...
That's her phone?
So the fire is going to be under investigation, and your phone's going to be seized.
Is Shay...
Yes, everybody's phone's being seized.
The officers assured her that they would provide transportation back home. However, their promises quickly proved empty. 3 officers approached Brown, insisting on confiscating her personal mobile phone, claiming it was necessary for the ongoing investigation into the fire.
We're waiting for the detective, so the detective's going to seize your phone.
No one told me any of this.
Okay.
You told me that you were about to take me home.
Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. So you can hang up. You can hang up the phone, and I can take you home. Yep.
So, no, they're not taking my phone and letting me leave. I don't know what I'm finna. It's 4 a.m. I can't go without my phone. Well, if I do the interview,
you can go do the interview, but your phone's going to currently be seized.
Can I talk to him first? Can he come down here?
Nope, we're not going to do that. So you can hang up the phone, or I'm going to take the phone. That's how this is going to work.
Oh, absolutely.
So
she said, hang up the phone, and they're going to take the phone. Because at this point, I'm being threatened.
However, under the Illinois Criminal Code, there was no legal basis for the seizure of her phone, as Brown had not committed any offense related to the investigation. The officer failed to provide a clear reason for the seizure, escalating the situation unnecessarily.
Under investigation.
Don't ever tell me not to interrupt you, and I've been miscalm.
So the phone's going to be seized. So in a second, I'm going to take it.
I'm asking you. I'm
so
asking you a reason.
So
I'm not being rebuttal. I'm asking you a reason.
So if you would like to talk to the detective, you can.
Why is my phone being seized?
If you would like to talk to the detective that is seizing it, you can. Do you wish to talk to him?
Yeah, but...
Do you want to give an interview?
Brown, aware of her rights, refused to hand over her phone and requested to speak with the detective. The officer denied her request and attempted to coerce her into compliance. However, they had no legal grounds to seize her phone without probable cause or a warrant, as protected by the Fourth Amendment of the federal Constitution. Despite Brown's lawful refusal, the officers persisted, offering her the option to give an interview as if it were a condition to retain her phone. Brown asserted her right to have an attorney present and expressed her unwillingness to provide an interview.
No, I wanted to ask him why my phone's being seized, because she said she could take me home, but without my phone. That doesn't make sense. It sounds like...
So are you going to talk to the detective?
No, I need everyone to come and tell me why my phone's being seized, because no one told me this until right now.
At this point, 3 more officers arrived at the scene, bringing the total to 6 surrounding Brown, who had done nothing wrong.
Do not kick. Okay, push your legs out. Stop. Relax. Relax.
Mom, I'm not letting go. I promise.
Relax.
Mom, I'm not letting go. I
Relax.
promise.
We just want your phone. That's it.
We just want your phone.
They trying to give me no protection.
Taylor. No. No. Mom, they got me.
Stop kicking.
Stop kicking.
Mom, they trying to get me.
Hey, Taylor, give me your hand. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. Give me your hand.
Taylor,
Yo, Mom.
Turn her to
That way.
this way toward me.
Mom.
give me.
Roll.
Give. Give me your hand, Taylor.
Which way we roll?
Give me your hand. I almost.
I'm going to keep doing the pressure point until you let go. Let go.
Got this hand.
Release your hand.
During the altercation, the officers forcibly attempted to take Brown's phone from her, leading to a physical struggle. One officer used pressure tactics near Brown's collarbone to gain compliance, despite her lack of criminal behavior.
I'm filing the case as soon as I get off this floor.
Let me move.
You all have no right. I came down here willingly because you're a black woman.
Get up.
So,
Hold on.
I want you to think about how you're
Hold
doing another black woman.
Okay.
When you go to
Relax. Relax.
You just put me in handcuffs and I came down here willingly.
Can you hear a double lock?
Hold on. Let me
I
tighten them
came
up.
down here willingly. And y'all just okay with this. All of y'all. And you a black woman. You are a black African American woman.
Property.
Where's the phone at?
You're black.
All right. We're going this way.
They're white. I expect it from them.
right.
You're black, dude.
Okay. You also kicked me in the head, so.
You also, I came
We're
down
going
here
this way.
willingly because I trusted you. And look at what you're doing.
Are you willing to provide a statement or no?
The use of force by the officers was excessive and unjustified, considering that Brown had not committed any offense. Eventually, Brown was placed in handcuffs, and the detective informed her that her phone was being seized.
Do you want to provide a statement?
My detective, I need to talk to her. I need an attorney present.
You can, okay.
I need a lawyer.
You can take her to jail.
All right.
Take me to
Where's her
jail.
property?
Whatever charges you guys have.
You have resisting and aggravated battery of a police officer.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll do the interview.
You still have the charges.
I didn't aggravate you. You
You
assaulted
kicked
me.
Okay, so relax.
You assaulted me. I'm 18 years old and you assaulted me. Of course I'm aggravated. I wasn't resisting arrest. You didn't say that I was under arrest.
You're being arrested. I asked you, so listen, I asked you to provide your phone and you refused, okay? When you
You didn't give me a reason.
Nope. I said your phone was being seized.
You
said
never gave
stop,
me the
stop,
reason.
Don't interrupt me. I said your phone was being seized.
I asked you the
I gave you
reason.
several times to
I
hand it to
trusted
me.
you. That's why I
You did
came.
not hand me your phone.
Brown, steadfast in her rights, requested a lawyer, prompting the detective to order her arrest. The officers charged her with resisting arrest and aggravated battery of a police officer, despite lacking any valid grounds for such charges.
Scared, hello, you would do the same thing.
Cuffs still have to be double locked if they weren't double locked back.
They weren't. Go ahead and double lock them.
Double lock them, I can't move. Are you guys serious right now? How are you gonna do this to me? I'm like, bro, I just got out of high school and you all are scaring me.
Following her ordeal, Brown filed a civil lawsuit against the officers for violating her Fourth Amendment rights and causing physical and emotional harm. She seeks compensatory and punitive damages for the trauma she endured during the incident. Brown's mother expressed her concern, hoping that no other mother would have to go through a similar experience. The lawsuit is ongoing, highlighting the need to hold law enforcement accountable for their actions and protect the rights of individuals like Taylor Brown, who experience unjust treatment and unwarranted aggression from those sworn to protect and serve. Now let's move to the next and last case of today's video. On February 9th, 2023, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine conducted a press conference at an elementary school in East Palestine, Ohio, to provide updates regarding the derailment of a train carrying toxic chemicals. During this time, News Nation correspondent Evan Lambert was in the back of the gymnasium, filming a pre-scheduled live update while Governor DeWine was speaking at the front. Two members of the Ohio State Highway Patrol and the Ohio National Guard's Major General John Harris Jr. approached Mr. Lambert and requested him to halt the broadcast, citing his alleged loudness. The ensuing interaction was captured by the body camera of one of the Highway Patrol troopers, although there was no available audio recording. Despite the absence of sound recording during the initial part of the interaction, the footage reveals an argument between Mr. Lambert and Major General Harris. Subsequently, Major General Harris is seen pushing Mr. Lambert. Following the incident, Mr. Lambert alleges that Major General Harris assaulted him, while Major General Harris claims he felt threatened. However, it is essential to acknowledge that this explanation seems to contradict the body camera footage, which shows Major General Harris as the instigator of the altercation and does not display any physically aggressive behavior from Mr. Lambert. Sheriff Brian McLaughlin of the Columbiana County Sheriff's Office instructs Mr. Lambert to depart from the area. In response, Mr. Lambert clarifies that he is attempting to listen to the press briefing and carry out his job, emphasizing that his actions are protected by the First Amendment.
Go. Talk outside.
Out the door. Out the door. Out the door.
By other media right here. I'm going to listen.
I don't care. You're going to walk out the door.
I'm going to listen.
You're going to walk out the door.
Do not touch me.
Mine out, sir. You're going to walk out the door, or you're going to jail.
Do not touch me.
Sir, can we talk outside, please?
I am trying to
talk
listen.
outside, please.
And he escalated with me. I am doing my job. This is covered by the First Amendment.
The First Amendment of the United States Constitution explicitly prohibits Congress from creating any laws that would restrict the freedom of the press. Courts have interpreted this clause to safeguard not only the press's right to publish news, but also their right to gather and acquire newsworthy information. In this particular case, the court made a definitive differentiation between the circumstances of that case and the current situation.
Sir.
This is bad. Stop.
I am on the ground. What are you trying to do?
Okay, stop resisting. Stop this. Oh my God. Stop. You want to get this. I will. This is so bad.
Put your leg behind your back. Lay flat, please.
You guys, he's a national correspondent. You cannot do this.
I'm a reporter with News Nation. It's all being recorded right now.
I hope it is.
Excessive work because you can't talk to people about doing their jobs.
Oh my God, I cannot believe this.
This is what it's like to be a black reporter in 2023.
Evan, I'm so sorry. Evan, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Sia.
We'll love her, sir.
The court emphasized that the mayor did not withhold access to information that was commonly available to other media representatives or prevent the reporter from participating in press conferences. In this scenario, Mr. Lambert's reporting did not seem to cause any disruption, as Governor DeWine mentioned that he was unaware of the incident, only hearing about the disagreement that occurred after the troopers and Major General Harris approached Mr. Lambert.
You got to record all that.
I did, sir. You want me to shut off?
No, you can keep recording. Okay. We just need to make sure that no one else comes in here that's not authorized to come.
Rudeness or disrespect or anything. We've been waiting for.
In his statement, Governor DeWine acknowledged that reporters possess the full right to report during press briefings. Mr. Lambert could assert a compelling argument that his First Amendment rights were infringed upon by being excluded from the press conference, considering that he was merely performing his job as a reporter.
It's the worst possible time in the world, okay? But there's nothing that we can do about that. He's committed to doing his live show. He's got people talking to him. He doesn't know whether he...
Upon Mr. Lambert's refusal to leave the press conference, East Palestine Detective Daniel Howder and Columbiana County Chief Deputy Jennifer Tucker notify him of his arrest. Subsequently, when he appears to make a slight attempt to move away from the officers, they take action and force him to the ground before handcuffing him.
Comes over and says, I don't want you here. Okay. He still refused to leave.
I didn't
so now he's arrested.
I didn't witness any of
That's his own fault he's arrested. All he had to do was pipe up.
I didn't.
And he just kept on arguing.
All I'm telling you is from the television standpoint of...
Later in the episode, the matter of whether the officers possess sufficient probable cause to arrest Mr. Lambert will be addressed. If a court were to determine that the arrest was legally justified, there exists the possibility that Mr. Lambert could face a conviction for resisting arrest, even if he were to be acquitted of the trespassing charge. Despite the charges against Mr. Lambert being dropped, no information has been provided regarding any disciplinary measures against the involved officers, including Major General Harris. It remains unclear whether Mr. Lambert or News Nation intends to pursue legal action against any of the parties involved. On the whole, the numerous officers involved receive criticism, as they are likely to have infringed upon Mr. Lambert's First Amendment rights by unjustly excluding him from a public press conference, arresting him for refusing to relinquish his rights, and employing unnecessary force during his arrest and initial disagreement with Major General Harris.